There you go. Now it's recording.
Melanie is in. No, we
Hi.
Hi, Melanie.
Hello.
You missing the launch?
Almost you can see it.
The weather was so bad. Is it still raining over there?
It's like that.
It's like that a bit,
Yeah.
here. I think the weather, I think the rain
coming in,
passed.
it was really, really dark. It was like it was about to storm.
Just realized my plan isn't good because if I switch the host, it'll stop recording. I just remembered that. So I'll just monitor anything that comes into the house and just monitor the chat as well and do this same thing. But let me take some index cards.
Okay, yeah.
So I'll just do anything they
pen?
send directly. I thought I brought a couple.
They're right
yeah.
there.
So you took, did you get it back?
I still have it.
Oh, okay. Now you gotta move again.
Where that's okay.
Y'all ready?
It's 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. I'm gonna knit everything.
Okay.
Ready? Good morning. My name is Giselda Toomer, and I want to welcome everyone for joining us today at NOMAR and the EI's committee as we celebrate homeownership. This is the first of 3 of our webinars we'll be hosting for the month of June. Today we'll be focusing on the first steps to preparing for homeownership. Ready?
Okay. And now we're gonna hear. Okay. We're gonna hear a little word from our sponsor, Hancock Whitney.
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much on behalf of Hancock Whitney. Happy Homeownership Month. We're excited to have the opportunity to sponsor a series of events that will provide information for consumers, for housing professionals, as they work really hard to prepare themselves and their clients. And as you work hard to prepare yourself to enter the market and the opportunity of homeownership. It's critical to the growth of our community, where people have invested interest. You know, where we lie our money is where we most times we make sure that we're there and we're going to guard over that. And so home is a place where a lot of that happens, and we want to make sure that you are armed with information and are aware of all the resources available in order to help you achieve your goal of homeownership. One of the things I would encourage you to do, and I'll probably say this at the end of this series, is to visit the landing page, the NOMAR homeownership landing page, visit the Hancock Whitney banner, and there you will be led to a page that will provide resources, including what's called a first-time homebuyer's guide, that will probably also provide additional information that is going to be reviewed today. But it'll be something that you'll have in your hand. You can download it and have it on your phone, and it'll be easily accessible. And you can always reach out to any of the professionals that are on this panel for any questions that you may have. So thank all of you for attending, and I look forward to listening in on all the information that's going to be shared today.
Okay, now we're gonna play a little video. I'm sorry, it's taking me a little bit of time to get it going.
Home means a place that I can just be me. It's a place that you can kind of fall out and do whatever it is that you want to do. A place where you can just be. My name is Cynthia Sampson. I am a native in New Orleans, Louisiana. I purchased my home officially on March 1st, 2021. I finally moved back home to New Orleans after being in Florida for 15 years. So I wanted to get more settled and decided to purchase. So initially I went to
I'm sorry, technical difficulties. Let's start that over. Sorry.
home means a place that I can just be me. It's a place that you can kind of fall out and do whatever it is that you want to do. A place where you can just be. My name is Cynthia Sampson. I'm a native in New Orleans, Louisiana. I purchased my home officially on March 1st, 2021. I finally moved back home to New Orleans after being in Florida for 15 years. So I wanted to get more settled and decided to purchase. So initially I went to a mortgage broker first, and then I went to 3 local banks within that area. And of the 4, Hancock Whitney, I had superior customer service. I had satisfactory work done by Mindy and Charlene, and I couldn't have asked for a better product than Hancock Whitney. Here at Hancock Whitney, we understand your goals, and we are here to help walk you through. I really appreciated the care and the attention to detail that they actually provided to me throughout this process. The home buying process was actually quite smooth. They went, through every step, laid out the entire process to us. Once it was actually done, I felt like, wow, I did this. I did this on my own. I was just believe it. It's like, wow, I purchased my first home, and it was a home that I really love. The biggest thing that I love the most is the garden. And I've tried my hardest to keep it up, and I'm just really excited about it. I will definitely and have already recommended Hancock Whitney to family and friends. They have given superior service with a quality product that's just A+.
Okay, I will introduce our first speaker is Paula Pete. She's the founder of Family Resources, and I'll give you a little information on her professional background. She lived in 2 public housing projects, Desire and St. Bernard. She's number 5 of 11 children. First in the family to graduate from high school and college. Graduated from John McDonald High School in 1973. She has a BS degree, Florida A&M University, 1978. Library media specialist. Public Relations Director, New Orleans Education Talent Search, 1980 to 82. Special Markets Representative, Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, New Orleans, from 1982 to 1984. National Programs Manager, Core Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado, from 1984 to 1988. She's a licensed realtor since 1984 to 1990. She founded Women Entrepreneurs for Economic Development, 1988 to 1997. She trained 500 women in entrepreneurship skills, awarded SBA Women Business Advocate of the Year in 1997. She also founded Family Resources of New Orleans in 1997 to current. She's a Director of Housing and Special Projects, awarded Best Affordable Housing Developer in America by the National Development Council in 2011. She served on the Louisiana Housing Corporation Homeownership think tank, chairing the Scalable Housing Models Workstream. In this capacity, working with members to identify resilient housing products that withstand hurricanes, tornadoes, wind, water, termites, and fire. She's also been married 51 years to Keith Pete. We are parents of 2 daughters. Grandparents? All right. All right, introducing Ms. Paula Pete.
Most times when I tell people I got married in my senior in high school, they find it hard to believe I'm still married to the same. It was really a blessing to have found your spirit. Maybe get along and move forward. But I just want to say hello to everyone. I am Paula, Director of Housing and Special Projects and Family Resources in New Orleans. So happy to be here, especially this month, which is National Homeownership Month, to discuss the topic of understanding the homeownership process and to share information and resources on how we have been successful in educating adult learners, which can be hard sometimes because everybody comes in at a different level. They may have ADHD, they may have autism, they may have something, but we have to find a way to train them so they can understand the process. I will give a brief history of family resources in New Orleans and its accomplishments over the past 26 years, and my reason for committing my life work, 40 years, helping low-wealth families rise out of poverty to build generational wealth through homeownership. Okay, at Family Resources, we started in 1997 because there was a federal mandate by the Republican president to remove people from the public system, push them into the workforce, and hope that they could survive. We were instrumental in getting a grant to work with women because we knew they didn't have, number one, the basic skills of employment, like knowing how to take a job interview or how to dress for success. So we taught all those skills. We were able to help them either go back to college or to move forward.
They can barely hear that.
We were able to help them learn basic skills on employment and how to dress for success. And we moved them into the workforce and tracked them until they were able to find a job or get back into some type of training so they can have a career. 2003, we expanded our services to include home buyers counseling, credit counseling, financial fitness. We became a HUD certified counseling agency. And we started saying that if we're going to get people to want to go to work, then we need to give them something that they would want to have as a gift to force them into the workforce. So we said, if you get a job, we will assist you in helping you to become a homeowner. And during that time, we were working with a lot of families who were public assistance and on housing authority vouchers, and they had a home ownership program. So we were able to help them get their employment, and then after that, they were able to move into home ownership and purchase their first home. So that was like a pitch to getting them to connect to home ownership and keeping a job so they can maintain their houses. 2003, Katrina moved everybody out of the city except me. I was the only one in town because I lived on the West Bank. We didn't get any. Got literally wiped out and was able to move into St. Charles Parish at least 1 month before Katrina because the Spirit said, go to St. Charles Parish and stay there. And I'm saying, why? Do I have relatives here? Are there spirits from my family? But I did. A month before Katrina, we set up an office. We already had our experience with USDA and were able to help our rural families while we were trying to recover from Katrina. But I'm just going to do a little overview on what we've done in the last 23 years. We've offered skills training to youth and adults living in public housing, partnered with Lafitte Public Housing Development to help people to seek employment. We built 19 homes in partnership with a gentleman who was working in New Orleans East, Jim Howard Lifetime Home. We ourselves built 100 houses with USDA for families living in rural communities. We won the 2011 National Development Council Award. We built a house for $110. The house note was $200 with insurance, and it was the most affordable house in America. And that was because USDA had a product that was 1% interest, and they actually financed these houses for 33 to 38 years. So that's why we were able to afford the house. We partnership with United Way on the development programs, the IDA, the Happy program. We became a loan packager with USDA. We're a housing advocate, and we have an office located in St. Charles Parish. The reason why I spent 40 years in this business was I can remember purchasing my first home in 1984. First-time home buyers was not an available requirement. When I walked into the home, it was everything I ever dreamed of. Original hardwood floors, 20-foot ceilings, classic historical New Orleans, the historical Victorian home was built in 1896. It had a slave port in the backyard, and the home was absolutely grand. The home was under renovation, so I entertained an offer, felt that I was getting a great deal with interest at the time, which was 13%. And we had to get in line and sit for days to get that bond money at 10%. So I, like the rest of the people who wanted to buy houses during that time, sat and waited to get the interest rate. Home inspections are not required. So I applied and obtained a 30-year loan. After moving into the home, I realized the home had many shortcomings: no central air unit, no insulation in the walls, no closets, faulty foundation, and the list goes on. I purchased the home with a problem that I could not afford to repair at that time. The home lasted 15 years and the problems became persistent. I still had a 30-year mortgage to pay for, and then came Hurricane Katrina, which was probably my savior at that point. Because of the experience, I vowed to help. Because of that experience, I vowed to help other people, and I made that mistake. That was the worst thing I had ever done in my life. And so when I started with the nonprofits, like, I'm going to teach and educate everybody I can about, learning about the process, what you need to do to purchase the home, the laws and everything. And I also attended the real estate class so I can learn more about the real estate process. And it helped me get through, what I did, and also help other people. So the training, we have a training manual that we had to create because there was really not a good training manual that was available to teach. We are teaching people how to understand the process of home ownership, not just, giving brochures and documents and say, read it and get it. They can't get it. We know what they need to get. So Family Resources of New Orleans has increased its outreach in both urban and rural communities, empowering, educating working low-wealth families to pursue economic self-sufficiency. And this has been our number one priority for the last 26 years. We started out knowing that New Orleans had the highest poverty rate, and we knew we had to do something to get people out of poverty. We knew that, we didn't have any corporate businesses like Atlanta that you could work with and earn a decent income, and we had to do something just to say that you could be poor and still become a homeowner, because homeownership does create generational wealth. In a state rich in oil, gas, culture, music, agriculture, seafood, and natural resources, ranked number 1, 2 in tourism, the city to visit for leisure. Port of South Louisiana, New Orleans, Plaquemines ranked 1, 4, and 11 in America. Why don't we have money to help get our families out of poverty? Reducing poverty and deprivation should be the government's primary goal. Increasing educational opportunities and resources to foster economic well-being must be a statewide mandate. And you know what type of government we have right now, okay? Won't feed the kids, not interested in anything except making money with his friends, and it's a fact. So that's an update, okay? On a good note, June is National Homeownership Month, and I've always celebrated it, whether it was with ribbon cuttings or turning dirt. And so now we have to get back to that because of all the other things that's come, like Ida and then hurricanes. It's a time to reflect our successes. Our statewide HUD approved housing counseling and homebuyer education networks in partnership with real estate professionals help to educate thousands of low-wealth families in New Orleans and around in the surrounding areas so they can pave the way to future generational wealth. There's a recent article with Redfin saying that as of May 17, 2022, only 45% of Black families own their homes, compared with 74% of white homeowners in America. Surprisingly for us, the Black home ownership rate increased most in New Orleans, and I was so happy to see that. Finally, we first said something, right? Okay, in New Orleans, 49% of the families are now homeowners, up from 47% in 2012. That was a long time to get to that point, but we know we lost all of our houses in Lower 9, so that really wiped a lot of the houses out. Okay, so the Black Data Center reported in October 6th of 2023 that homeownership rate is 62% among white New Orleanians. So New Orleans has one of the lowest wealth gaps in the nation. So that's another good thing, because now we have more people buying houses and they can proceed with moving toward generational wealth. We can attribute this increase guys and girls to the commitment of housing professionals, our real estate agents, everybody in every facet of in the housing industry, the federal government with our soft second programs and the down payment assistance, our mortgage lenders, our banks, Hancock Whitney, my best buddy up there, in tandem to educate median income families who without assistance would have been left out of the homeownership wealth process. So what I did was put together a stepping system where this is what happens first when you're going through educating families in the homeownership process. So the first step is the homeownership process starts with recruitment, outreach, and referrals. We get referrals from you guys, we get referrals from the banks. Not that they make direct referrals, they give the clients a chance to select who they want to service them. And it is a federal mandate that anyone who requests financial assistance from federal government resources, soft second down payment assistance, IDA matching savings must meet median income guidelines, a 10 or 12 hour home buyer training, and some require financial literacy training as well. Once a client makes contact with family resources and any of the agencies around the city via phone or email, we immediately counsel them on the phone, giving them all the information about what they need to become a homeowner. We ask questions about credit scores, household income, family size, and their debts, and their circumstances, and that helps us determine if they are mortgage ready. And those who are not mortgage ready, we actually keep them in the system and do one-on-one counseling with them. Number two, the agency schedules a face-to-face meeting with each client to determine if they have all the documentation they need that the lender's going to need in order to qualify them for a mortgage. So they know what these documents are. You have to gather them sometime. It takes a while, but they do. For the clients who are not ready to proceed with the purchase, we allow them to take home buyers training because it's good for 2 years. So they give them 2 years to really get to into the system and start moving forward. And they also receive one-on-one counseling to improve their credit. A lot of them are going to these credit people and paying money and keeping them on their system for a year and taking the money, that money they could have used to actually pay off those debts that they had. So we educate them on that. We educate them on how to reduce debts, how to establish credit and budgeting. So the documents that we actually get from them are the paycheck stubs, the W-4 forms, signed federal taxes, documents showing up income, identification, bank statements, retirement account incomes, pre-application letters, in their tri-marriage credit report. That's the first thing that we have to get from them when they're gonna enter into our system, because HUD requires that you gather all the information. Step number three, after the client provides all support documents, they enroll in a training class of their choice. We have first the home buyers training in-house classes on 2 Saturdays, which is really convenient for a lot of our clients because they're working and they need childcare, so they can get that on the weekend. And then we also teach the financial literacy class. We also have the eHome America class, which is online, but a lot of people cannot make the classes. They can take them online, except for our housing voucher programs. They have to take the classes in-house. After the client completes all enrollment requirements, they receive a class schedule and copy of Family Resources New Orleans Building Well Through Homeownership training manual. It is critical that we educate people the way they can be educated, whether it's through a manual or whether it's through just listening or actually tactical, where they can just write things down and remember what they're at. So we help prepare the clients before they attend the class. We have a 67-page manual that consists of the following. And it's our table of contents. Is home ownership for you? In this process, they need to weigh if they prefer being a renter or a homeowner. If you don't want to put a light bulb in, then you need to just stay a renter. But if you want to get on the ladder and put a light bulb in and make something, you should pursue home ownership. Understand the credit, which is critical because they don't understand credit. They sometimes don't even know how much income they're making. So we have to bring all that to the table. How much can they afford? Understanding the home ownership process involves all of this. Fair housing, predatory lending practices, identity theft, the role of the real estate agent, loan pre-approval process, the mortgage loan process, the home inspection process, the property and appraisal process, loan closing process, and then after that we do pre-purchase process. So if they have trouble, they can come right back to us, and then we will prevent foreclosure. Okay, also included in that training manual is a dictionary. Housing is a different subject. You have to be able to talk the language, speak the language, know the words, so you can intelligently talk to all the professionals in the system who you're gonna meet along the way. So our step 5 is every aspect of the home buyer's financial literacy training is taught by a HUD staff person or a licensed real estate professional in their respective field of expertise. So y'all know we all partners in this. Everybody's prepared. They know what they're talking about. And with the budget and credit counseling, fair housing staff, real estate broker and agents, bank and mortgage loan originators, home inspectors, appraisers, the title company, all of the professionals are involved in the home ownership process. And you need to really know that because this is what we have to do as HUD certified housing counseling agencies. Section 6, step 6 is after completion of all required training, clients receive a certificate of attendance. They do not get the certificate that goes to the lender because there was fraud. People getting the certificates and putting their name on the certificate. So we directly as counseling agencies have to send their completion of training to the lenders. And we do give them a certificate of completion so they can feel honored. So a lot of them, that's the first thing they've ever had a certificate in is completion of home. So they want everybody to see I complete training. And so that works. It is critical that clients maintain learned skills and knowledge. So we provide them with a copy of the home ownership process cheat sheet. And we give it to them because after they take 12 hours of home buyers training, 2 Saturdays, 6 hours each day, they call me on Monday and say what I do next. And it's like, huh? Were you listening? I know they weren't listening. Here's the sheet. This is the process. We go through it again. And then step 8, we also have clients sign the 10 commandments. Y'all know about the 10 commandments. I shall not get married. I shall not go to shopping for furniture at Hermes Niche. I shall not buy a Mercedes Benz.
I shall not co-sign.
That I shall not co-sign for my sister who said she needs help, and I told her, you say I can't do it. Okay, so we go through all of that and we get all of those procedures in place, and they are so engaged in the process that they don't want to leave the place. The agency provides ongoing counseling and case management to direct and motivate clients as they navigate through the home ownership process, which can be somewhat intimidating until they close on their home and they forget to call and tell you, oh, I purchased my home. They don't tell us that. All right, I don't know what my timing is, but I just wanted to check.
Oh, you still have time.
Okay.
Question.
Okay, let me know how much time because I got this whole big old manual here to teach, and I want you to know how we teach. Okay, this manual we created because we had to have it. When you're educating people, you need to teach them. I have a degree in education, so I know, and my specialist is library media, so Mary know how I research. I mean, I research all night, 24/7 underneath. But anyway, is home ownership for you? Talks about the advantages of home ownership and what are the disadvantages. And they learn about that. Understanding the credit report. It's really often, they don't even check their credit reports annually. Someone could be taking their identity or doing fraud. The times they call saying that they just don't know what's going on. Their bank account is depleted. They don't know what to do. So we have to walk through them and tell them, you need to call the police department and get a police report, get that filed, and then we'll send it to the credit bureau and clean it up or help clean it up. So they go through the credit report and they learn about everything they need to know about their scoring and what they need to do to improve their scores, how they need to improve their scores. We do not need to go to these credit companies to pay them to improve their scores. We can do it all and help them all for free. That's what we do as housing counseling agencies. They learn about budgeting. They do their budgets in class. And we get a copy of their budgets and they get a copy of their budgets. They can put it on the refrigerator so they can stay in line with their budgets and not overspend and do things that they're not supposed to do, because when you're buying a house, you really have to fine tune what you're spending, how you're spending, when you're spending, not, do over spending on charge cards. And they just need to know the whole procedure. I'm moving into the home ownership process. We also have As you can see, this is the budget sheet they get. They should set up an emergency fund in the event that something happens during this process, that they won't have to go into their savings, because our voucher clients are required to have a $3,000 savings account. That's a lot of money. I don't have the $3,000. You have $3,000 savings account, but they can't touch that money. It has to stay where it is until they go through finish the process. We go through how much house they can afford at 30% of their median income and add their debts. And they know how much house they can afford, because I have another cheat sheet for them, which is a monthly mortgage payment. So if they're gonna purchase the house at, say, 125 at 7% interest, they'll be able to afford a $832 house note. And then, of course, we don't know what insurance is on. So there's a way that the community is working with that by getting in the lower the content insurance, and just doing some really creative things so they can get some affordable insurance. The cheat sheet is here. Understand the home ownership process. First, you meet with your counselor, your housing counselor. Second, you have to get together and review your credit, and all the problems on that credit report has to be addressed. So we have a special individual plan for them to address that. If they need to write letters to the bureau, we write letters till we get all the stuff off that's preventing them from moving forward. After they do the credit report, they have to enroll in a home buyers training class so they can get certified to take advantage of the city of New Orleans, South Second, the Jefferson Parish, South Second, the state of Louisiana, South Second. Everybody has South Seconds, and that's a great thing. And that's the drive that's pushing us ahead of the industry right now, even though we're tied with Atlanta and Philadelphia with 49%. I think we can beat them. What you think? Other than just football.
Yes.
We can gain wealth in New Orleans, even though we're in a poverty state. Oh, we're number 5, 49 to 50. Poverty state. That's horrible. But all the gas, that's outrageous. What are they doing with the money? I think we need to ask that question, girls. Okay. So once they attend the home buyers training class, we encourage them to seek a real estate agent. We do not tell them what a real estate agent to do. We can't do that with HUD. They have to make their own decision. And we have cards on our resource table that they can choose from. So they get the pre-approval, and once they do get the pre-approval, then they move forward with the real estate agent. And then once they select the house, they go through the loan approval process. And then all the other steps take place after that: home inspection, appraisals, and all the good things. And then fair housing comes in and they talk about discrimination. I've been discriminating in housing. I'm sure some of you have been discriminated in housing. And we have to continue to call out when we see things not right and make sure we get it right, because people have a right in America to be treated equally and fairly. And when we see something wrong, we just have to address it. So, and then they go through the mortgage loan process and all the things that I've discussed. The home inspector comes in and he talks about what he does, how he does it. Then you have closing attorney who comes in and he does the final step in the home ownership process. In the training manual, we also have documents of what a residential loan application looks like, so they can be familiar with that. And then they go to the next document, which is the so many documents in here. It's like taking a real estate class in 12 hours. Seriously. The section 2 side of it, they get a copy of a residential appraisal report, so they know how that's done. And they can ask questions about, 3 houses, where are these houses? Why is this different from that? And we know location. And then section 3 is a Louisiana residential agreement to purchase and sell a house, so they know what that looks like. And they can feel comfortable knowing that, hey, I know that document, we have it in our plan. And then disclosures of lead-based paint and lead-based paint hazards. And then section 4 is the closing documents. So they get a chance to see a real full statement with the attorney, which is normally Brent, the value time. And in the back of the training manual, we have this home buyers dictionary talking about everything just for a mortgage, and gives a definition of everything that they need to know. And then hopefully they want to be a real estate agent, because I became a real estate agent because my first house, I made a big mistake and I didn't want to do that again. So that's basically the process of understanding the homeownership process. And we're there to help them along the way as they go and they ask questions. And all the time they're asking questions in class. And if they don't, I'm there to prompt presenter and I ask the questions, because a lot of them may be afraid to ask. And that's what we're doing.
We have some questions for you.
Sure.
All right. One question was, are any of the classes available in Spanish?
Yes, online. They're available online in Spanish. And Asian populations can take the class online.
And so then can anyone volunteer that speaks Spanish to work?
Of course,
with you?
definitely. Actually, the federal government says if someone comes to your class and they're like, have a disability or impairment, you have to hire a speech person to do that. And that's expensive. We had to do that. It was like $1,200.
And we'll make sure we put her information in the chat. We have someone asking, how long is the process that you were speaking of?
Lifetime. I'm just It's really, the class is 12 hours, it's 2 6-hour classes on Saturdays. And then if you have to take financial literacy, you have to take that, and that's another 6 to 12 hour class. You know, people need to have this training if you're gonna move forward with trying to become a homeowner. They can't get away from it if they want the $55,000 of free government funding and the $5,000 of down payment. That's $60,000 free money. Who won't take a 12-hour class? I'll take it again too. But I don't know.
So we can safely say maybe about 3 Saturdays.
It's usually 2 Saturdays, 6 hours each.
That's the financial literacy piece too.
Financial literacy is actually 6 to 12 hours, depending on what the need is. And if, like, housing authority requires certain times, depending on, because we go through the budget and everything you need to know about, you know, money.
We heard you say the voucher program a couple of times. Can you just give us a definition of what that, because everybody doesn't know what the voucher.
Voucher is Section 8 housing authority. They are allowed to use their voucher to become a homeowner. That voucher, the money they pay into the renters can be used for them to buy a house. And it's been around for quite a long time, yes, in the 90s. And over 600 families have become homeowners using that voucher. It's a great program.
Great. And then a couple of times you said something about soft second. Can you explain?
Oh, sure. Free money. $50,000 for, you know, as gap funding for the cost of the house, and then $5,000 for down payment assistance for those who meet the median income guidelines. You have to meet the guidelines, take advantage of those programs. But the state have awesome programs for people making more money than the median income guideline, and they can get a subsidy as well. And that's with the Louisiana Housing Corporation website. You can go there if you're working in special fields like in the medical field or teacher. You can make up to like $140,000 to qualify for their grant assistance.
And how about this? What is the cost of the class with you?
Oh, our class is so inexpensive. It's only $125. And you know, most housing counselors, we don't even get funding from HUD to do what we do. We just do what we do. I know we do what we do at Family Resources. But $125 for the home buyers training and $100 for the financial literacy training. If someone doesn't have it, then they just give us a little letter saying they can't do it, and we'll work out a payment plan. But if you're moving toward home ownership, you have to have some skin in the game and know that you gotta have what they need you to have, especially your savings and down payment if they require that. So yeah, you gotta show that you really committed to this.
And how do people get in contact with you if they're looking to get started or if we have clients?
Everybody knows about
We're
family
gonna put it in
resources
the
and
chat.
loans.
That was just a question. I was just-
We are North Claiborne and Treme. Y'all know Treme, everybody knows Treme.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it there.
And we're, family resources, NOLA.org.
Okay.
All that information is there, or they can call, you know what?
I'm gonna put it in
I
there
have a
now.
mobile phone with their number on it. I talk to people all day and all night about homeownership. It's like we are to push the needle to making sure that our residents who are working poor, who deserve a house, become homeowners. Because like me living in public housing, I hated every minute of it. I wanted a house, I wanted a yard, I wanted a bedroom, but I didn't need it till I got married.
And we just put it in the chat.
Okay.
I just wanted her to say it.
Okay. And Paula, what is the percentage of the people that become successful homeowners after completing your class?
Oh, and I would have to say 80%. Because they're committed. They come and they know what they want. I spoke to somebody on my way here this morning and she was telling me that she's in Jefferson, she's got a voucher, she's been living around the community with seniors who help her and her kids, and she want her daughters at home. And I told her we promised to help her to do that.
Lately, when I do my homebuyer training with my clients, I've been revisiting, maybe I should not be saying the 30% income, what they can afford, just because the utility costs have gone up so much in Orleans Parish and our incomes haven't necessarily increased. Home prices have gone up as well. So I'm just asking you for advice too, like what percentage should we tell them? Because I just feel like the utility costs are not going to go down and the insurance costs.
The 30% is only for the purchase of the house. So that's something that the lenders make. You have to qualify for that. You can't, your rental or your mortgage note cannot exceed 30% of your income. And that's a safe point because they feel that their risk of foreclosure is a lot less. Now, if they raise it to 45%, 50%, that's 50% of your income, and you have insurance, you have a food, you have to pay for food. They want the house, they may have to start a business and do something a little more to get the income, and then they can buy it cheap. They don't have to buy the house at 30%. They can buy something less than 30% of it. And then as their income grows, they can add on to it. And I read a lot, I research a lot about what's going on in the industry, and I tell you, with the interest rates, when I bought my house, remember it was 13%. I sat in that long line for 10%. I bought a house for $60,000. I know it was $600 a month, which I knew that was affordable for me at the time. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm just starting off, and I can't pay $1,200 a month. But that house was 3,000 square feet. It just was, not renovated. Not even about construction, but I know that. So they can buy less of a house. They can buy a container. Or they can start off somewhere, but they need to buy land. They need to buy something now before they won't be able to.
Paula, what the real estate professional, the realtors, how do you see realtors and home buying agencies building stronger relationships to get more people in to get information?
We need to market. We don't market. We don't have billboards anywhere in New Orleans talking about homeownership. It's National Homeownership Month. We need to be out there on every TV station talking about National Homeownership Month, talking about how we increase the rate of homeownership in New Orleans, how we want to be #1, and just, do it that way. I know NARAD is doing a wonderful job. Ned is doing a wonderful job. I love everything. We all partner. We all partner. We go to all these things together and we have fun. And we even have a house party.
Yeah. House party.
Yes, but we just don't market it. You just think people are gonna find out. And then everybody in the family have a real estate agent, because when they come to my cousin, your cousin haven't been in a business long enough to advise you on anything. Don't listen to your cousin, okay? Because they really don't know. Get a seasoned person who knows what they're talking about. But definitely partnering more, getting the banks more involved and partnering with us, and just putting it out there, because we don't put it out.
And let me say this, I've been a real estate agent for 39 years
Mhm.
now, and for a long time, when a client called me, I would do like a pre-qualification thing,
Mhm.
but then I would send them to the lender until I studied to become a housing agent.
Exactly.
And when I took the test, they asked, what do you do first? And I say, send them to the realtor.
You won't.
But I know, but a lot of times most of the time, 100% of the time, most of the time, we should send them to housing
Oh,
council
definitely.
agency.
Yeah.
Because when we send them to a lender, they're not ready and they get their credit report pulled and they get that hit.
Decreases their
and
score.
it's great. So can you just talk about that a
Oh,
little bit?
yes. That's the first thing in the fact sheet. You know, we be the counselor. That's just it, housing counselor, because we are certified by the government to do what we do. We have to pass tests, like Mary said, and be educated and certified. We used to have to get certified every year, but now we have to do that. Thank you, Jesus. So, but we do keep in touch with what's going on in the industry. But I think if everybody followed the process, because I see a lot of people doing homebuyers training, you know, just doing it, and it's like, but you're not getting credit for it. Why aren't you just inviting us to your meetings, and we'll do it, and we can give them a certificate for 3 or 4 hours, then they can come and do the rest with us and finish it. So people, I think the industry needs to know, the real estate industry needs to know that. And I'm glad you brought that point up, because a lot of people, they're in the industry, but they really don't know.
So you're saying we need to just learn to collaborate a little bit better together so we can.
We have to partner together. Look, you know, HUD is first line of defense.
Mhm.
The agency is what we do. And we want to be the first line of defense for hurricanes, because we see a lot of discrimination with people in not getting hurricane services. And if we were out there, we can report it and we can do it. Most of us are builders. We can go in there and help assess damages and make sure that they get what they need from HUD. So they're talking about that now with state-based and nonprofits being more into the HUD recovery process, which we should have been in a long time.
And now there's a question that asks, what is the difference between what you offer and what LAC offer? I don't know
We
if
do
they
the
talk
same
about the classes or the down payment program.
I think that's what they're
The down
referring
payment
to.
program. The down payment assistance. Yeah, she does-
LA3 does the
she
money.
doesn't-
You don't do the money.
Yeah.
Everybody
That's
comes,
what they're
okay,
Okay.
I finished the class, how can I get the money? We're just partners on educating you on everything you need to know so you can get the money. And this is, I have a list of all of the lenders,
All the housing.
the names of all of the lenders who have the money.
Yeah.
We get back to them, so you're not leaving out of here not knowing. And if you do, it's because you weren't focused on it. So maybe we need to do some of the remediation in one-on-one.
Did we answer the question? Make sure she said thanks. Okay.
Okay, yeah. The money is at the government and the banks. Banks have money. Federal Home Loan Bank give you money, 15,000 to buy a house. Once you go through their bank, sometimes when the money is out there, they'll give it to the client who needs it. City of New Orleans got money, and when they run out, they replenish it. Jefferson has money. When they run out, they don't replenish. So, and then the state has money 24/7
Yeah.
with all their programs. So you got some good stuff, and we really need you to go ahead and take advantage of this. We want to be number one in homeownership.
And then we're gonna close out with the last question. You talked about post-counseling after they
Yeah,
become
yeah.
homeowner.
Mhm.
What is that process like?
Post-purchase is preventing foreclosure. So we want to make sure you don't lose your house, and there are federal laws to protect you. You can do a loan modification, or you can do a sale before they take it. If you get to that point, you can file bankruptcy. There are all kinds of ways to save a house. So we counsel you, and then we refer you to the legal component of the government's rules and regulations. And that happened during Obama's administration, where they did the legislation where because if that's the case, everybody during Katrina would have lost their house, because everybody moved to different states and lived in apartments. They couldn't afford to pay the house note and then the apartment note and all that. So we mandated and pushed for that. When y'all were out of the state, I was sitting at the table with the banks, and they asked me, well, what should we do? I said, well, you should extend how long people can be out of their home before you start trying to do foreclosure. And if they have a catastrophe, we need to really do loan modifications and, you know, whatever we can to stop people from losing their wealth. You're losing your money when you lose your house.
Any other questions?
Or am I gonna
One
retire?
more. Melody, I can read it if you want.
Okay.
She said, are we able to have a list of the banks that have the funds?
Got it, right here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She has a regions employee.
They are approved
trying to stay
lenders.
with the
Remember,
region.
they are approved lenders and there are approved folks who work in those banks who know about these programs. All bankers don't know about these programs. Do not go to some bank and they don't know what you're talking about and you're not gonna get approved, but we have a list and I will.
Is it on the website?
It's in the city of New Orleans. Yes, it's on a website. Everybody has websites. LAC has a website with participating lenders. And the city of New Orleans has participating lenders and they change often. So you definitely want to make sure you get a list.
And we have our sponsor, Hancock Whitney. They are one of our approved lenders, so.
They did.
Well, we come to the 12:50 hour and we're gonna close out. Paula P, we just appreciate you. You know, we out there.
Yeah, that was really good information. And it's good to know that, you know, we have some, a company out there that's, walking out people through the steps from beginning to end.
We just
Because
want
it is
y'all to be proud
intimidating.
of us because y'all don't know what we do, but we are educators.
Yeah, it's very intimidating for some, where they just won't do it, you know, but if they know they can, you know, get help from the beginning to the end, you know, it really helps a lot.
And it really takes a lot off of us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, we can focus on.
You don't need to be doing all that.
Because I used to spend at least about an hour doing my home buying consultations with them, you know, because I would tell them, hey, I'm not just your door opening agent. I want to educate, especially with me becoming an educator in the classroom. So I'm as VP of NAREB. I know you spoke about the New Orleans Real Estate Brokers Association. I'm happy to hear that you are willing to partner with us because we do, you know, do home buying classes. As far as this month, we're partnering with the faith-based community to actually do home buying classes. So why not partner with you so they can get hours, they get credit?
That's right. That's exactly correct. You know, Tanjanelle, who's working in the industry, we started the training at her church years ago.
Yeah.
Where they can get, you know, we need more churches involved.
So we will definitely.
We definitely need churches.
Perfect.
And we want to offer that up to anybody who's listening. If you guys want to partner, just give Paula P a call or get in touch with us and we'll most definitely see about connecting you so you can partner to help your community or your church.
You want to be number one. Just
so that we can get the word out. Maybe we get a billboard.
Right. That's what we need, marketing.
We need marketing. And we need a national homeownership month.
A festival. We need a festival. We do a festival for everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just think big.
Tish, talk to you about selling me national homeownership.
All right.
I'm sorry, I heard my name.
I said, Tish, talk to you about selling me the National Homeownership Festival in New Orleans. We do the first one.
Oh, that would be absolutely, that would be absolutely wonderful. That would be absolutely wonderful to have a homeownership festival maybe for 2025 or something like that. I said it would be wonderful. I'm sure we would have to all get together and, you know, figure out how to, you know, pull something like that off. But, you know, there's a lot of experience on this Zoom call. And you've done a lot of, you know, types of large events. So, that would be something that would be, I think, very needed for our community and exciting. Do you remember when HUD came to New Orleans during Homeownership Month one year? They've been here several times, but they just had a big splash. I'm aging myself when I'm talking about this, but it was some time ago. And we had the Secretary of HUD come for Homeownership Month. And there was it was a consumer event. And it was great. It was not just a press conference, but there was also a consumer event, and it was wonderful. And I remember a lot of agencies on site at that time. And the outcome was that during that month, it created a pipeline of interested homeowners that eventually, by the end of that year, became homeowners.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yes, I remember that. And so would love to see something like that happen. HUD was trying to do that on FAMU's site in Jacksonville recently. They had some quirks with legal issues on campus and didn't pull it off. And we're looking for another space in Jacksonville, talking to my Paula, but but something like that. And they actually provided results for how they did their housing house party and just the outcome of it. And it reminded me of what we did in New Orleans years ago with HUD. And so I would love to have that discussion again, especially all of those that are on the think tank.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be meeting soon, so maybe that's something we put on our agenda.
We tried to get an essence this year, but you know, it was an issue, but Urban League's gonna have a
But
community
we're
festival.
partnering
Yeah.
with
Urban,
with Urban League on July
I think y'all
27th.
involved in that, Hancock.
Yeah, to do the community day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's still in the works, but let's offline, we'll talk about it and see how we can get the festival, because we did the house party for Bayou Classic and that was good. So we'll talk about that offline. There's one other question that came in is, how do I become a certified HUD counselor?
You don't wanna become a HUD certified counselor, you don't get paid.
You don't get paid, but you can go on the HUD website.
HUD website. Actually, you just get the training, give an agency and get the training, get certified, or you can go to HUD.
Yeah, you can
And
go on the
start
HUD
your own
website.
counseling agency if you like.
Yeah, well, so you're gonna, pull up for the rest of the month.
Okay. Okay, so I hope that everyone enjoyed our first webinar. So we have two more webinars this month. One is going to be on the 12th, which is going to cover the financial wellness for homeownership. And then our third one will be on June 27th, and we're going to do Let's Get Moving. So, and also the 26th, we have a lunch and learn, so don't forget about that. We do have this flyer that we're sending out online. I don't know if everybody have seen that, but it has all of our webinars listed on there. So I hope you can join us for the next one on June 12th. Spread the word, bring a friend, and
Financial
let's get
wellness.
moving.
And
Yeah.
on the 27th is very exciting. This is
Yeah.
actually the first time this has been announced to anybody. But Kate Moore, the VP of Member Experience for the National Association of Realtors, will be joining us. on that day.
All right, we get the big people from Nashville. Y'all the back.
They're gonna be talking about a lot of good stuff about the value realtors bring to the table and how you can communicate that value to your clients and everybody that you work with, and how we can just do advocacy and everything. So, yay! homeowner.org/homeownership.
Okay.
I'm excited.
And we're gonna get one last word from Tish, from our sponsor, Hancock Whitney.
I just want to say, this was a wonderful event. Family Resources, Paula Pete, excellent job in providing us, just background on housing statistics. You're a stats person. I don't know if she sends out emails on she does research all the time. You could get an email at midnight about something that she discovered and she's found, and she's willing to share with all of us. So thank you very much for all the work that you've done in the community to promote homeownership, to pull families out of poverty, to help them to create assets and build assets to create generational wealth, and helping them to retain and maintain and sustain that wealth so they can actually pass it on. So thank you so much for all the work that you do. You've been a great partner with Hancock Whitney, and we appreciate you. I would also say that Hancock Whitney is a partner with LHC, Jefferson Parish Finance Authority, Jefferson Parish Community Development Finance Authority, New Orleans, which we will be piloting a program with them very soon. More to come on that. Also the City of New Orleans and many more organizations, NARAB, the local New Orleans chapter as well as the national chapter. Yes, we are a partner. We are also the Women's Council, the DEI. We are a part of that as well. So we're doing everything that we can to ensure inclusivity of home ownership across our footprint, our home front, which is in the New Orleans market. I thank all of you who have been great partners to us, and happy Home Ownership Month. And I look forward to the next webinar.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
See you next week.
Thank you.
That was good, guys.
Let's go.
Which is a bill for?